Okay, well, I got me figured out. That's the easy one. They can hear me now. I'm trying to make it so that way they can hear you too. Let's go with this one. All right, I think they can hear you now. Nope. Okay, let's see. Now can you hear V?
I'm talking. Hopefully they can hear me.
Yes, they can hear you now.
Okay. Do I sound okay? I mean, you still sound the same to me, but like I said, I can make it do.
Okay, you can hear us both, but how do we sound? Because apparently to V, I sound very distorted, but to my own stuff, I sound completely normal. I sound fine? Okay.
Well, that's good. I don't know what's wrong with me. I quit Discord a couple times because I remember one time there was an update and that changed it for us. So I was like, make sure there's no updates, but there wasn't. And I mean, like I said, you sounded fine to me when you were messing with some of the settings. So as long as they can hear you and it sounds fine, I guess it's fine.
Well, no, because you need to be able to hear stuff too. What about if you look at your settings, your audio settings?
I never have any audio settings. I just press record on Audacity. I never change anything on Discord.
But Discord automatically changes updates and settings.
Let's see, voice and video.
Oh, but I guess it'll probably be a good idea. Where's the fucking thing? There we go.
So, here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Okay. Chat heard the spoiler alert, but you did not because I didn't click the button.
So, here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Okay.
Yeah. He sounds the same, distorted to me. There's nothing different. Everything looks the same. I mean, I never go in here anyway. It just works. Other than the one time I had to switch it for it to not be on my headset. But then I switched it back. So I don't know.
Okay.
No idea.
I mean,
as long as they can hear you fine, I guess. Going into my Mac, just if that matters.
Have you tried unplugging and plugging your headphones back in?
I could try that. Let's see. Well, that was... Jesus Christ.
Oh, I didn't know that you had to fully, unscrew it. Well, apparently it's not Twitch today. It's something audio related. I mean, we could jump into, a Google call. No, Google, I don't think will do it. We do need some calibrations over here. Calibrations would help a lot out today, I feel like.
Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck? Can't I get this? No, you sound distorted coming out of my laptop too, so it's definitely not this. And now I can't get the stupid power thing back in.
Oh no.
Get in there, you piece of shit. Okay. That's definitely the right way. I know how to plug in a micro USB. There we go. I've known how to do that since I was like 10. Okay. Where are you? We could try the Google Meets or something. I don't really know. Like I said, it came out distorted on my audio, like my laptop speakers too. So
Yeah.
it's not my headset. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
I can't hear you now. That's
Oh, no.
wonderful. I love all of this. This is so stupid.
It's all Anders' fault.
What the hell, man?
It's Anders' fault. It's all
Fucking
Anders' fault.
Anders.
Oh my god, now you sound distorted to me. What is going on?
This is stupid. It's not ever been to this extent. And it's for over a year. Why is this happening to us?
I don't
Do you wanna-
know.
Do you want to do Google?
Alright, hold on. We'll try a few other things first. I'm gonna call you. What in the actual fuck is going on?
No. You still sound the same to me.
Yep, and so do you. Okay. Let's try Google.
What the f- is happening? Everybody, this is not normally planned to be this terrible. Let's go to Google Meet.
What is going on? Wait, are you here? Wait. Oh no, who am I? Okay. Yeah. What about this?
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Did you hear Sam? No? Okay. It is Discord. It's something there. Alright, I'm gonna switch. Okay. We're still live, but nobody can see us. Oh my god. Come on. What am I missing? Oh, that's fun. They could. Ah, yay. Okay. V, yes, they can. The streamers have been able to hear us this whole time. Okay, that's fine. Yes, I know. Just me, not V. Cool, cool, cool. You know what? Anders might just have to fuck off, and we will do him tomorrow because this is getting to be some bullshit. Um. Okay. They can hear me. Please speak. V, please say something. She can't hear me. V, can you hear me at all? Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now? V, can you hear me now? Oh my god.
Can you hear me?
Okay. There we go.
I
So
still
now
can't
stream.
hear you.
That's
Hi, Maya.
fine. Stream can hear me. They can hear you. I needed to make it so that way you can hear me. If somebody could tell her that, please.
I'm glad everyone can hear
What about now?
both of
Can you
us.
hear me now?
I still can't hear you for some reason, though, which is kind of important. Hey, you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yay? You can hear me? You said yes. God damn it.
Here's some art my kid did. I don't actually know if anyone can see me. I'm still frozen Discord image on the stream.
Can you hear me now? 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 Can you hear me
Oh,
now?
sorry.
Can you hear me
That
now?
was a coincidence. I can't hear her.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I feel like a fucking Verizon commercial. Oh my god. None of these
Her
things.
stream best friend Eileen actually watches.
Yeah, oh my
It's
god.
this one.
This is so ridiculous. I have gone through every single one of my fucking settings and not a single goddamn one of them can you hear me on. I'm about to rampage so hard.
I swear it's not normally like this. Why can't I hear you?
I have no clue. What about now? Can you hear me now? Nothing? Nah, that's what I thought.
No. What the fuck is happening? Wow, it's been 30 minutes.
Okay, I would have been
Do we
pissed if she was.
regroup for tomorrow night instead? No, see, I don't know, because that'll leave us so little time to edit the episode.
I know. We'll figure
Hate
it out.
this. Come on, universe. Throw us a bone.
The cable output. What if I. Wait a minute.
Painful enough to have to talk about Anders.
Oh, hush your face, woman.
Oh yeah, and then we had someone else
What
supposed to
about
watch for the
that?
first time tonight too.
Microphone
It's a
is
great,
on.
great introduction to our podcast.
Oh yeah. No, this is a shit show tonight.
What if I turn on captions and we just do it like that?
No, I don't want to turn on captions and do it that
Troubleshooting
way.
and help.
Like, I legitimately do not understand why Stream can hear me. Why? I mean, it's obvious that. Have you tried to check headphones in Google?
It didn't help me at
What
all.
are your settings? She could do that, but the only problem is that there would be a 6-second delay.
Oops.
Yeah, and then that's weird too.
Shit. No, I'm the host. If I leave, it'll. I don't know what to do. I just tested my speakers and they work, so I don't know what's going on with not being able to hear you. Oh yeah. Sorry, I just saw your thingy. Everything's set up fine for me. I heard you at first. I don't know what happened. Like when we first joined, and then it just stopped working. So I thought it was something like when you were trying to set up with the stream or something that it got changed. I don't know. But I heard
Yeah.
you in the beginning. The very
That's-
beginning.
Okay. And
Like right when you joined again.
yeah, I understand that. So you're saying you can hear me for a second and then it goes away?
Apparently they don't want us to record an episode today. Or at least not live stream it. Which sucks.
No.
Gosh, I'm willing to go back to Discord.
Okay. Let's try that. I swear we will get this figured out. Hello? Okay. I'm gonna hate.
Sorry, submit 1-star report to
What?
Google.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
You don't sound good, but I can hear you. It's better than before. Yeah, I've checked my Discord audio multiple times. Nothing's changed on that front for me, which is why I assumed it was something with Jen because she has a lot of audio settings for the stream aspect. And every week they have to be tweaked, basically. It's just this week, none of the tweaking worked. Like, it's not gotten fixed when usually it's a couple tweaks and then we're like, okay, there we go. Everything sounds good. And we go. That's it. But this week, for some reason, I don't know. Like, nothing worked.
Yeah. It's just extremely frustrating because it should have worked just fine. But I still sound like shit to you?
Yeah, but I can hear you, so it's fine. I can't hear me. I assume that means I won't be able to hear an audio clip unless
No,
you
you
fix
will.
that one.
Yeah, the audio clip thing was the easy fix. I learned how to do that.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
He sounds so fast. Was that sped up?
No.
It sounded fast to me.
Oh. What? Okay, fine. Here, try this one.
Did the warden send you to bring me back? I'm not going. Those bastards made me get rid of my cat.
That definitely
Also,
sounds
perhaps
fast
a
to
lot.
me.
He hated the deep roads.
Okay, chat. Was it fast to you guys? Because it sounded normal to me.
I don't know what's happening. Nothing has changed on my computer, so I could not tell you. I've checked all my settings, which there are none. It just comes out of this headset and goes into this mic. That's the only settings I have, and they're not changed. Sounds normal to them. Of course, it's fucking something to do with mine. Whatever. We'll just deal with it.
Okay. Okay.
I don't understand.
I mean, yeah, if you want to try like a Google Meet with Eileen and see if it's weird for you
No, it's
guys.
fine. It's already 10:06. Like, at this point, I kind of want to just try doing it tomorrow instead because I don't want to rush, and we're already going to have to rush editing the audio if we do it tomorrow, but I'd rather have like an actual good stream.
Yeah.
And now this isn't working. And like, this is boring. I wouldn't want to watch this shit for 30 minutes.
Okay.
Or we could, I don't know. I'm fine with whenever tomorrow. We don't have to wait till the nighttime. Like, if other people want to watch during the day or something, it's fine.
Well,
So whenever is free.
if we don't want to stream it tomorrow, that might be just easier. Like, you and I can
That's true too.
We can just do an offline recording of the episode when things are. I mean, they are still here. I think that they're
Eileen
fine,
was
but
all excited to watch it.
all
The
right.
hell?
If you want to just, if we want
Well, the stream, I mean.
if you want to do the episode tonight, we can.
Okay.
If you want to just take a breather and do it offline tomorrow, that's fine. And if it puts crunch on us, but that's fine. I can edit the episode tomorrow morning or anything like that. And our episodes release on Monday.
That's,
Not
yeah. I'm fine. I just don't like it. Whoa. When it's not working. And I don't understand, like, why it's not working for me. No offense, Apollo. I'm just going to blame Florida. I don't even know. Like, every time they're like, oh, we have fiber. No, we don't. It's a joke. There's nothing here that works. Ugh. That's the thing that's weird is I heard you just fine earlier, and I heard you just fine in the Google Meet at first, and then it just went out. So I have no idea if it's on my end. There's nothing I've changed or done. And there's nothing I can fix about this. Like, I don't know. Because my audio sounds fine. Like, when I play things, when I'm testing it on Discord or whatever, it just sounds fine. So I don't know why it doesn't sound fine when you're talking.
okay.
It doesn't normally do this. Okay.
Do we want to do a podcast? Because if you
Sure. I just need to get this.
Oh yeah, I need to get the script up too.
Yeah. I was like, I completely X'd out everything just to try and get stuff to work.
Yeah.
So I have to open up the script again, but I'm already almost there. Okay.
I almost finished my wine and all of that.
Me too. Like, I just listened to myself back on Audacity from what I had recorded, and I sound fine there. I don't get it.
Okay. Yep, and you sound perfectly fine to me. And
Okay.
you sound good on stream. Okay. Ugh. I am not blaming Psyduck for the headache of tonight. That's nothing to do with
I'm
it.
blaming Anders.
You're blaming me.
I just want to be able to hear you in the clips with clarity like I normally do, because I like to hear you, you know?
Yeah. All right, we can try one other random thing. And that is going to a different channel, like a different recording channel.
Yeah, like I was gonna suggest the one you made, like your personal server switch embed, like ages ago when we used to record in there.
Yeah.
Does
we
that
can
one
try
work?
that.
Okay,
I have to find it.
you could try it.
There.
Mine's how many servers are you in? Mine's
Oh
right
my
there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Oh wow. Okay, I'll see you soon.
All right. What happened? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? I love you so. Feels like it's been forever.
Didn't fix it.
Huh?
But good try.
Okay. I thought maybe.
Worth a shot. It's fine. I'll just deal with it.
Okay. We will try this way instead. It didn't seem to do anything, but I think now we're ready to just do a fucking podcast. Okay. Or do you want to go refill your wine? Or do we want to just go? No? Okay.
Yeah, I still have some good.
Why did Audacity decide that it wanted to fuck off? That's cool. Cool. Let's do this. Alright, testing recording for me. And then V is also recording. It's time to start a podcast. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship, the podcast where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. I'm Genesis, the girl who is ready to defend her Blondie Bear tonight.
And I'm Vivada, the girl who really thought this would be another instance of Miranda, where I went into it not liking someone and coming out of it liking someone, but I actually don't like him even more now. So we're gonna fight.
Bring it on. If you're new here, welcome to the beautiful chaos. But you should know that our podcast centers on character and romance analysis and doesn't shy away from exploring the fun of fucking.
Or from the deep emotional connections built between two characters using specific in-game dialogue. So if you want to stay spoiler-free, then this is not the podcast for you.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Thanks for the spoiler alert, Sam. And just like with all of our previous episodes, we'll assume that you have some background knowledge of the game and character in question, but we'll be providing context for those of you who may be unfamiliar.
In today's episode, we're still in Kirkwall, and the subject of our episode is a tortured soul who has strong feelings for mages and goes all glowy when he's mad. Oh, it's not Fenris. It's Anders from Dragon Age 2.
Did the Warden send you to bring me back? I'm not going. Those bastards made me get rid of my cat. Or Sir Pouncelot. He hated the deep roads.
A sentiment felt by all of us. We agree, Sir Pouncelot. We hate the deep roads too. Anders is a human mage that we first met in the Dragon Age Origins DLC, Awakening. He was born and raised in a small village in Ferelden, although his father was originally from the Anderfells. Anders was a popular child and was often seen surrounded by other kids. When he was 12, his idyllic childhood was rudely interrupted one day when he accidentally set a barn on fire with magic. As we know all too well, magic is to be feared in these Andrastian lands. So while his mother wanted to protect young Anders, his father grew to fear him. He called the Templars, and not long after, little Anders was torn away from his family with only an embroidered pillow to remember his mother.
So sad, I can't imagine that. Anders refused to speak once he was brought to the circle, so the other circle mages began calling him the Ander on account of his paternal heritage. Eventually, he just became Anders. He despised the circle, seeing it as a prison rather than the refuge the adults tried to convince him it was. His first escape attempt was 6 months after his arrival, and he did succeed in escaping for a time. He was recaptured, but not before he managed to save the life of Ban Farenly, and he got a pendant. Yay! Prison, but with ribbons.
When the circle mages asked why he had escaped, he had cried, saying that he just wanted to go home. This is a 12, maybe 13-year-old boy, locked up away from his family, and told he is a monster simply for being able to do magic. Anders eventually made a friend, an older boy named Carl Thelka. An older boy named Carl. They were inseparable, and eventually became more than friends. You'd only know that if you play as a male hawk, though. We'll play the difference between the two hawks the first time Anders mentions Carl to you in a little bit.
Once Anders had Carl in his life, he stopped trying to escape the circle. Carl was older, so he went through the harrowing before Anders. The harrowing is the final test a circle mage must undergo in order to graduate to some life outside of the circle. It's kind of like the military, though. You get posted to different places. Carl was posted to Kirkwall's gallows, and Anders did not take their separation well. He began his escape attempts again. He could break out of the circle no problem, but the Templars always caught up with him sooner or later.
His sixth escape attempt resulted in him being forced into solitary confinement for an entire year. His only companion was the Circle Tower's mouser, Mr. Wiggums. Aw, this is where his love of cats came from. According to Anders, Mr. Wiggums was later possessed by a rage demon and took out 3 Templars. Oops. When we first meet him in the Awakening, he is surrounded by dead Darkspawn and Templars during the assault on Vigil's Keep. He promises that he only killed the Darkspawn and that it was Mr. Wiggums who took out the Templars.
Oh, that's his one shining spot for me, is he's a cat person. Anders becomes a companion during this massive DLC for Dragon Age Origins. And you can even use the Rite of Conscription to make him a Grey Warden and keep him from being arrested by the Templars. This DLC has a lot of major plot things in it, including Anders meeting the Spirit of Justice that later comes to possess him. This is also where the Warden can give Anders a kitten that he names Sir Pouncelot. I love that name. This DLC can also end with Anders dead, hailed as a war hero but losing a drinking contest, a Grey Warden that leaves the Wardens and is branded an apostate. They have multiple choices here.
I totally lost my spot in the script. Right. This quest is called Tranquility, and it is the first time you get to witness justice in action firsthand. When you reach the
Nope. Page 4. Sorry, I think you skipped some.
Oh,
It's
okay.
right after branded and apostate.
We're good. I got totally distracted by Redrill subscribing to us. Thank you so much for that. It's very much appreciated. Yes, that was what the big hearts was for, and then I totally scrolled way too far down on the script. Alright, getting back into it though. Regardless of the choices in Awakening, Anders, prior to Dragon Age 2, becomes a Grey Warden, meets justice, and survives, and has to give up Sir Pouncelot to a friend in Amaranthine, because the Wardens say it made him too soft. Stupid Wardens. The Chantry protests his presence in the Grey Wardens until they compromise and allow a former Templar named Roland to join him on all of his assignments. And this is when he merges with Justice. Unfortunately, Roland witnesses this, saying even the Wardens can't harbor abominations. Justice overcomes Anders and he kills Roland, the Templars, and the Wardens that were there to subdue him.
He kind of finds himself at a pile of bodies a lot of the time, unfortunately. He has a rough go of things. And honestly, between the hubris of young people and the trauma of being a mage in Ferelden, I am really, really not surprised that he turned to justice and believed he could control it. Despite this, Anders in Act 1 of Dragon Age 2 is someone who is trying to make a positive impact on the Ferelden refugees. Because if you don't remember, beginning of Dragon Age 2 is at the same time as the Blight that's happening during Dragon Age Origins. He is using his healing abilities to care for the refugees free of charge. In exchange for freeing Carl from the Kirkwall Circle, Anders promises he will give Hawke some Grey Warden maps to show possible Deep Roads entrances.
Okay, I'm going to put a pause here for a second. I'm going to try something. What if
Okay.
I switch here and you can hear me just fine now, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Sound perfect.
And stream can still hear me. And
I hope I didn't seem too...
clips worked on stream. What about... did you hear it?
I hope I didn't seem too
Nope, you didn't, so
No.
that's fine. And now I sound like shit again, right?
No, you don't.
No, I don't?
No, you sound fine. You sound perfect.
selfish when I told you
I
about
love your
justice.
voice. I missed it.
I didn't know what would happen.
You figured it out.
I didn't do anything
What the-
different at all. Oh my god. I literally
What
switched
is
it to the
happening?
same thing that has been going, like, I kept switching back and forth between those two settings and neither of them were
No,
working
you
out right.
sound perfect now. Oh, good. Okay, I was so sad. I was like, I mean, like, I could understand you, but it really didn't sound good to me. So I was like, I really hate this. I wish I could hear you as we normally are. So I love your voice.
Are you hearing you at all?
But it's fine now. Yeah, but I don't care. I can ignore that.
Okay. Because I didn't
I
want-
usually...
Okay, well, I can turn that off and on still. That's fine. Because I didn't want to freak you out going, oh no, when I turn off the little switch that goes, don't. Anyways, when I make it so that way you can't hear you, it also means that my Audacity can't hear you. So I haven't been recording you like I normally do. Okay. We're good. Yay. Hi. Are you okay? What? No. She's gone now. What do you mean? No. Okay, try it now.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
You should be able to hear me now, I feel like.
Yeah. So everything is that if I flip you off, then nobody can hear anything.
You gotta keep me turned on.
Yep. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
Okay. As long as you can deal with you hearing you, I will continue to shoot the shit out of this computer. Oh my god. I also forgot that I made myself a tequila drink tonight. So I have wine and tequila. And you're right.
That sounds great.
If this is your first time joining here, especially Rydell, I'm going to go with Rydell. It is not this much of a shit show, I swear to God. Normally, we're a little bit better than this. Okay. All right. You talked about the Grey Warden maps and getting into the deep, deep roads. It's like bonus content. Yeah, because none of this is making the actual show. There's no way in hell.
It's very candid on the stream, and it's much more polished on the audio for podcasts like Spotify and stuff. That's for strangers to listen to. This is for friends.
A Two Girls Off the Rails edition. Yeah. Okay. I feel so much better now. Okay. Especially since we're about to get to all the feisty bits. We need to be able to do it well. Okay. Why? Okay. Just a little tweak. And we're good. Okay. This quest is called Tranquility, and it is the first time you get to witness justice in action firsthand. When you reach the Chantry at night to rescue Carl, you discover that Carl has been made tranquil. Let me explain tranquil. In Dragon Age, you can sever a mage's connection to the Fade, thus preventing them from ever using magic again, and rendering them harmless. However, when you dream, you enter the Fade as well. So a person who has been made tranquil is unable to enjoy life. They are emotionless and flat, robotic servants to the Chantry. It is a fate worse than death to mages.
It sounds horrible. Justice kills the mages, and Anders can put his dear friend Carl out of his misery, depending on player choice. When you return to Anders' clinic, he finally explains his connection to justice and how what was once a friendship has become an eternal struggle for control. I've said this before on the show, but as my boy Solus has said, spirits that are twisted from their purpose become demons. Spirit of wisdom becomes a pride demon. A spirit of justice becomes vengeance. Anders admits that his anger has warped justice into vengeance, and he is balancing on a knife's edge. If he falls, he becomes an abomination. Here's part of that conversation with a female hawk.
Host, a friend. It had to be better than playing the demon and haunting some corpse.
Well, he can't complain about his looks anyway.
No, don't go there. That's not going to end well. I don't want to hurt you.
Hurt me? I might like it.
No. You saw what I did in the Chantry. That's who I am. A year ago, maybe we could have had something. But I'm not that man anymore. I'll break your heart. And that might kill me as surely as the Templars.
Oh, so sad. Okay, so remember how we mentioned that this goes differently with a male hawk? You may remember that we first heard about this difference from our interview with Ben Sabin. Go listen to that episode if you haven't already. And here is the receipts for that. This is with male hawk.
And I would like to say that this is literally the exact same moment in the scene. We didn't move the timeline at all, but it's just how that conversation goes.
I hope I didn't seem too selfish when I told you about justice. I didn't know what would happen. I figured a willing host, a friend. It had to be better than playing the demon and haunting some corpse.
Well, he can't complain about his looks anyway.
Growing up in the Circle, everything is about order and rules and the Templars. The apprentices, we found ways to make that bearable. Carl and I, he was the first. We could forget that out in the world, we were nothing but Templar slaves. We hadn't been together for a long time, but still, it hurt.
You and Carl?
I've always believed people fall in love with a whole person, not just a body. Why would you shy away from loving someone just because they're like you? Does it bother you that I've been with men?
I'm just glad it didn't take me any longer to find out.
Okay. A lot to discuss there. One, I have a love-hate relationship with this so much because I love the fact that Anders is just like, who cares what type of body you have? If I fall in love with a person, I fall in love with a person. And I love that level of representation. I do not like the fact that it assumes that straight is the okay way. That straight doesn't have to be explained, because he doesn't explain to female Hawk that, yeah, I've dated men before, because why would that matter to you? You're a woman, so it's just assumed that I'm going to be attracted to women. But he feels it necessary to explain that, yes, I have dated other men in the past, and so I need to explain this to Hawk, to a male Hawk. But I do think that they handled it well in that aspect, because I could see it being another thing that Anders might hold as being shameful and being worried to express about himself. Like, he's a mage, he's an apostate, he's a former Grey Warden, he's, I guess in this case he would be Pan. I would classify him as Pan, because if he's saying that it's the body itself that does not matter at all, that means that he's attracted to any and all genders.
Yeah. I could say flavors of demisexual too, just because he fell in love with the person, not the body. Funny, that's what he said, you know?
Yep.
It's just crazy how different those two conversations are. Like, as in the tone, overall tone. Like, Anders to female Hawk being like, don't love me, I'm just gonna hurt you, is so, I hate it so much. And he comes off completely differently to male Hawk. Like, I really like what he says. I don't like that he feels like he has to explain himself. Like, oh, are you bothered that I was with men? Even though you just flirted with him as male Hawk, so it really shouldn't, I feel like that should have been said. But, you know, like, it still sucks that it's coming from that place of, like, he's kind of ashamed and having to justify why he fell in love with somebody with, like, the trauma of the circle, and they found comfort where they could type thing. I just don't understand why you wouldn't get that story as female Hawk either. It's the same situation, right?
Yeah, it's the exact same situation, because no matter what, the mission after that, or is it after or before that you go to see Carl?
I think it's after. But I literally, like, that's why I put when I timestamped the clips, I had it start at the same point where he's talking about having Justice have a willing host. Because, like, and the exact same flirt option is said by both male and female Hawks, saying, well, he can't complain about the body. But then what Anders says back is totally different depending on who you are. And female Hawk, you never, ever know that about Carl. You just think he's his friend.
Yeah. And I have heard that the argument is that, you know, they wanted to make it apparent that Anders was an option for both male and female Hawk. And that if it wasn't clearly stated, Izzy is bi right off the bat. She's flirting with everybody, and she's very upfront about it. Fenris has never been with anybody, and he explains to people, I don't know what I like. So being with a woman or a man is on the table. I don't remember what Meryl says to a female Hawk, though. And I apologize for that I didn't do further research on it. But I feel like Anders would be and kind of looks like what we would classify as stereotypical straight dude in the game. So I feel like if they didn't put that I'm bi, or yes, male Hawk, I am gay towards you in the game, it wouldn't have come out. I don't know. Video game mechanics. Screwing over bisexual people since 2000 whatever. Oh, chatbot, thank you so much. You can fuck off. That is our first bot. Yay.
I literally was like, how do I report you for spam?
Jen takes care of that in the background. Or N7 the Legend could. Because he's the only other mod I have on this chat. Oh, I could make it followers only chat. You know what? Fuck it. I will deal with you later. No, Jen's not. Jen is happy about a chatbot. It means that we are raising up in the ranks enough to where bots are going to hit our streams. You are spam scammer bot.
I just want to bring up what Yuri Cat said in chat, saying that in Awakening, he specifically says he wants to settle down with a pretty girl. And I kind of think that this dialogue choice, like in the interview with Ben, he used it as an example of bi erasure, which it definitely is. But I believe it was obviously unintentional. Like, I don't think they went out to be like, we're going to do this because bi erasure, you know? I think because they chose to make the companions player sexual, they kind of had to shoehorn that in. And the only way that it made sense to do it for Anders was to just have that dialogue choice be different so that male Hawk players would be like, oh, okay, so we can romance him too. Like you were saying. I think that's literally the only reason it exists. It's just very different.
Yeah. Okay. Also, that line from Female Hawk, I kind of love it. Hurt me. I might like it. I have a whole
I thought of you.
headcanon about that line. And this is the first time that you can flirt with Anders. The conversation marks the first time that Anders would tell you that you shouldn't love him. Get ready for that to play on repeat, because apparently I need it bashed into my brain a little bit more. So, when Hawk and friends go to the Deep Roads at the end of Act 1, Anders can prevent the tainted sibling, either Bethany or Carver, from dying if you've brought them both. Oh, if you have brought both Anders and the sibling along. Anders also tells you that he actually stole the maps from the Wardens because he was afraid that they were searching for him. Anders can also convince Stroud to let Hawk's sibling undertake the joining.
So far, just positive things in Act 1. That wraps up Act 1 for Anders. 3 years later, in Act 2, Anders is a part of the Mage Underground and is helping mages escape the gallows. He still has his clinic in Darktown, but the people who come to him for help are less and less. He also starts writing a manifesto. Hawk will find copies of it all over their Hightown estate. Anders will admit that he is losing control over justice. I don't know, angry white men writing manifestos are definitely a huge red flag for me. Just gonna put that out there. He's getting closer and closer to the darker parts of his anger. Unfortunately, by the end of this game, he is a far cry from the witty and flirty cat lover he once was in Awakening. I am saddened by that. I'm gonna blame Justice. I think that's why. They're one and the same at this point.
Yeah, okay, you guys saw the tequila face. I did not pour. I free poured. I did not shot pour. So, it kicked a little bit. This is water, tequila, and lemon juice. And a little bit of ice. And that's all that it is. Yeah, sorry. Anders slowly becomes more extreme as the plot progresses, and one could argue that it is the influence of justice turned vengeance, and that is probably true. But the fact remains that Anders and Justice are no longer two distinct beings, so it is impossible to separate their actions and the associated responsibility. This is highlighted in Anders' next personal quest called Descent, where he has asked Hawk to help him investigate an alleged plot to turn all mages in Kirkwall, and eventually all of Theodas, tranquil. The offending Templar is named Sir Ulrich, and it turns out that Anders is right. What the fuck? Once you've defeated the Templar extremist, you can find proof that he proposed the tranquil solution. But thankfully, it was rejected by the Chantry.
Yeah, it's definitely some Holocaust flavors right there. If you want to know, like, the gravity of the mage situation in Kirkwall at this point. It also kind of pisses me off that, like, the jerk ass is right That's like a trope, actually. Like, 'cause he is being very extreme. I mean, we'll get to how extreme he gets, but at this point, he's still getting there. And he was right. So it kind of makes it hard to write him off because you're like, but you were right about this. So but when you encounter Sir Ulrich, he's trying to make an escaped circle mage named Ella tranquil, because that's like his new hobby, apparently. And obviously, when Anders sees this, he can't handle it, so Justice bursts out and destroys all the Templars. And unless you have high enough friendship or rivalry with Anders, Justice will kill Ella too when she calls it a demon. Anders will flee the scene, terrified of what's happened and what he's done. When you find him again, he's having a breakdown in his clinic, convinced he's become a monster. You can show him the proof of Sir Ulrich's plan, and that gives him some hope that the Grand Cleric may be more reasonable than he initially thought. If only he meant that when he said it.
Anders and your interactions with him change quite a bit depending on friendship or rivalry, to an extent that the other companions just don't experience. For instance, at the end of Act 2, if you're rivals, the final conversation with Anders is him writing his manifesto and trying to convince Hawk to side with the mages. He'll even read it out loud to you. But if you're friends, putting milk out for the local community cats. And thanks, Hawk, for their help and support. Kitties! Either way, Anders will continue on with his one-track mind, both in regards to mage rights and trying to push a flirty Hawk away. With tensions between the Templars and mages of Kirkwall rising, due in no small part to Anders, he will keep telling you that he likes you, but you shouldn't like him back.
I would drown us in blood to keep you safe.
You don't think we should start with flowers? Jewelry?
If that's the man you're looking for, you're in the wrong place. There will be more violence. I know that. If you tie yourself to me, I'll only hurt you.
Nothing would hurt as much as losing you.
You don't want to do this. I have no control around you. You could have a normal life. You don't want to be with an apostate. Don't tempt me. Not unless you're ready for what that means.
Don't tempt me.
I don't like it. I really dislike that kind of conversation right there. And I really dislike Anders' romance. I'm not going to say I hate Anders, but I don't like the romance. I don't like that he's literally telling Hawk how they should feel and simultaneously professing his great care for Hawk whilst also trying to push Hawk away. Anders displays a lot of what is called anxious attachment, meaning the thought of being alone or without the partner causes anxiety. It can sometimes manifest as codependency, but not in Anders' case. In fact, he sends a lot of mixed signals. He'll tell you that he's yearned for you for 3 years, and yet the entire time, anytime you've expressed interest, he's tried to convince you he isn't good and it will only hurt you. I can think of another mage that does something similar. I will address that whole other thing later on in the episode. I just don't like being told how to feel. I think that's a red flag too.
And here is another example on how different we are. I love the fact that he's direct about it. He straight up tells you, I'm not good for you. I'm prone to violence. I make bad decisions, and I'm no longer in control. And Hawk and me are dumbasses who go, okay, but I can fix you. I can make you better. I see this trope and I accept that it is one of the stupid ones that I fall for. But I think you just summed it all up beautifully in the why Anders is my dumbass. Is because I fell for it. I fell for this trope. Let's see. And it is the narrative trope that embodies this aspect of Anders is summarized by the phrase, I can't believe you'd notice a person like me. And if that is not a call out to my high school self, It's often used for the hot jock showing interest in the awkward nerd. Or something along those lines. Yeah, think Taylor Swift in her music video, You Belong With Me. Anders is heavily implied to have a crush on Hawk from the start. And that's not exactly uncommon. Meryl did too. And so did Izzy. And usually romance options are all too willing to love the protagonist because, hey, it's a video game and the main character needs that affection and attention, and I'm the main character. I am.
Yeah, give you that sweet, sweet validation, NPC. Anders might embody that music video, but honestly, when I was thinking about Anders, as for songs, I think of his romance when I hear Sugar We're Going Down by My Beloved Fall Out Boy. It's like my favorite band ever. Particularly the lyrics, don't mind me, I'm watching you two from the closet, wishing to be the friction in your jeans. And also that whole bit about the God complex. We'll get to that. Anders will berate Meryl or Fenris if you flirted with him but chosen to romance them instead. He doesn't mind you sleeping with Isabella because, in his words, it's just understood. In fact, he's probably slept with Isabella too. He's also the only romance option that will actually get rivalry points if you don't flirt back with him at the first opportunity. Everyone else is like, okay, if you turn them down, but not deeply insecure Anders. He's got good reasons to be insecure, but still, he's insecure.
Okay. I don't like that you get rivalry points for not flirting with him. But I'm pretty sure that
it's like 15 too. It's a fair bit.
Oh.
And he's the only one that does it. I was shocked when I saw that. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
That's kind of incel behavior. I'm just going to call it.
Ooh. Rude.
He thinks you should like him back, and when you don't, he's pissed at you.
I have no words. You can keep insisting on flirting with Anders if you choose, as I do, and eventually, like all the romances in Dragon Age 2, you will get your Night of Passion in Act 2. Anders is still baffled that Hawk would choose him after knowing all that they know.
I thought with justice, this part of me was over. I can't give you a normal life. If you're with me, we'll be hunted, hated. The whole world will be against us. If your door is open tonight, I will come to you. If not, I'll know you took my warning at last.
I will come to you. I will come for you. I will come with you. I will make you come to me.
Lots of coming.
But before we get there,
It's very dramatic.
it is. I love his drama.
It's like a romance novel. Like,
It's
it really is.
yeah.
One of the free ones on Amazon Kindle Unlimited.
That's all right. Now it is shots fired. Oh my god, you're gonna come at me with the free version on Kindle? Let's go to a mid break. Oh, let's get some Anders fun facts here. Despite hating blood magic users in Dragon Age 2, Anders can actually learn the blood magic specialization in Awakening, which is a little bit weird. It definitely highlights just how different Anders has become between the two games. And he also first meets Isabella in the Pearl. The pretty little brothel in Denerim during one of his many escape attempts from the Circle. In GA2, they actually have some party banter where they pretty much confirm that they slept together. But as Anders put it, Izzy looked a lot different back then.
Unrecognizable, honestly. I love those little lampshades of like, we changed everyone's character design. During the Witch Hunt DLC of Dragon Age Origins, one of the books in the Circle Library contains the notes of a young mage who drew Templars being eaten by a tiger named Sir Pouncelot. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure out who drew that.
I want to see it. I want to see the little tiger drawing.
I wish we knew more of Anders in those days prior to Justice, for many reasons that we will get to.
Yeah. And now it is time to thank our amazing patrons. Toasty and Apollo, Shanko and Misthios, Win and Bat Knight, and Lizzie. And our newest, as of just a few hours ago, Rydell. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Our patrons are the best in the world. Big love. Major shout outs. All right. Are we ready to get back into Anders? Or have him get back into us? All right.
You're here. I wasn't sure you would come.
Justice does not approve of my obsession with you. He believes you're a distraction. It is one of the few things on which he and I disagree.
So he's kind of an unwilling participant in our threesome.
Please don't call it that. Are you sure you want me here? Did you decide you wish something more than a quick tumble with Isabella?
She meant nothing to me. You're the one I love.
When I was in the Circle, love was only a game. It gave the Templars too much power if there was something you couldn't stand to lose. It would kill me to lose you.
This isn't going to fix that.
No mage I know has ever dared to fall in love. This is the rule I will most cherish breaking.
The rule I will cherish most breaking. Ugh, okay. A few things. One, it's hilarious that the dog barks when he says distraction. That was just perfect. But I also want to say, Hawk, you shithead. Izzy didn't mean nothing. There is a big difference between a person is meaningless to, yes, it was just a short, fun time together. And that's all that it was. So, fuck off, Hawk. Did not like that at all. I am not offended by Anders' question, though. He has the right to know if we are entering into this monogamously or if Hawk still has feelings for his former flame. I am all riled up. Okay, but moving on. This scene is very similar to Meryl's in the sweet walk to the bed. It's not wall slams or weapon removal. Hawk grabs his hand and they walk towards the bed, and Hawk lays down and Anders crawls on top. It's not exactly what I have dubbed as the BioWare body crawl, but it's close. I would also like to say that it has a really sweet and touching moment that just makes the scene seem so real to me. Anders starts directly on top of you to where his left leg is pushing your right leg up, and then he realizes that he's too much weight. So there is a clear shift of his hips so that way he's off to the side, which allows Hawk's arm to reach up and stroke his back. It is a thoughtful, touching moment. And then his left hand moves down, and Hawk's left leg starts to move. And I know what those movements are. The rest of the night seems like it would have been amazing if BioWare could quit hitting the fade to black button.
Well, we can give him the benefit of the doubt and assume that the rest of the night would have been amazing. I like most of what he says here. I have a big problem with the word obsession. I think that's also a red flag. And he says, like, Justice has a problem with my obsession with you. Like, I wouldn't feel comfy if a man said that to me. It's kind of classic heartthrob behavior, though. It's very, like, all or nothing. There's a lot of weight to everything. It's very important. A lot of Anders' romance dialogue, quite frankly, though, annoys and disgusts me. He is far too insecure and ridiculous. Out of all the companions, Anders is the least healthy romance option, in my opinion, and I stand by this. Shekup, one of the hosts of the Dragon Age Lorecast, friend of the pod, has often said that no one in Dragon Age 2 should be romanced and everyone needs therapy. I agree with this for the most part, as far as everyone needs therapy. The game only allows the main romance plot to occur during Act 2, and I think that's 3 years too soon for Fenris and Meryl. For Isabella, she doesn't really want a romance, so it doesn't matter too much when that occurs, although she does and can fall for Hawke. Anders, though, I don't think he should be romanced. In fact, I question why anyone chooses to romance him, given he constantly tells you he sucks and you shouldn't love him. He says to you all the time. Love, too, cannot fix demonic possession or low self-esteem. I know that I've joked in past podcasts, like, oh, my love can fix him, like with Johnny Silverhand, but in reality, it can't. And I don't see any motivation for self-improvement for Anders either, to even warrant a chance at love. I am very empathetic to Anders. He has gone through so much. He, like so many in Thedas, has suffered tremendous trauma after trauma. But not too many choose to champion a good cause in the worst way possible. Like, I just don't... It's really just... Like, I think Anders as a person is fine, whatever, but he needs a lot of therapy, and I don't think unless justice can ever be removed from him, it's not feasible or even safe to be with him.
Yeah. Okay. I love what Yuri is saying in chat, that Justice is like his anxiety demon. It is his, like, depression in the back of his head telling him that he's an idiot, he's stupid, your obsession with this woman is not good, your obsession with Hawke is horrible, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And so if I think about it that way, it also just makes me feel really bad for Anders also. And the fact is that vengeance, and then, so the demon switches from justice to vengeance. And I feel like vengeance is more vindictive. It's more of an asshole. And battling that demon internally, because he's in control a lot of the time. I don't know, I just feel for him. And so many of our companions do gain self-confidence through the help of the main character. You know, and yeah, it takes time, and hopefully you can put vengeance at bay and keep him away, or find a way to remove him. You know, and it's like the companions that gain self-confidence, they even more so if you romance him. Alistair is way easier to convince to become king if you are the one at his side. Tali becomes fearless enough to remove her mask if you romance her. And Carrie begins to create art that comes from the heart if you romance him. So I feel like Anders would be able to combat vengeance even more with a loving Hawke at his side.
We're going to get to this, about the difference between friendship and rivalry with Anders in particular. Rearcat also said people that suffer from depression have those kinds of dark, intrusive thoughts, and it doesn't make them undeserving of being loved. I agree with that. But there is a difference between loving someone through something and enabling them. And Hawke can do either one of those things in Dragon Age 2. You can enable him, or you can be a good enough friend to him to not allow him to do some things, or at least hold him accountable for the things he chooses to do. without your knowledge. So, yes. But, and also, it's not always a smart thing to like get into a relationship with someone at that point. They may look to you as a life raft in the torrential sea, and that is not healthy either. So sometimes love isn't always companionship in a romantic sense, and it's not always the best way. I just don't. And the thing with Anders is like, in the context of Dragon Age, he has an actual demon in him. That's really the main problem I have. Like, I don't think any of these things that are really a big issue with him couldn't be overcome. The demon can't. The demon is really the big problem, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think it would be interesting to see who Anders was without the demon. Like, I mean, we get that a little bit in the beginning of Awakenings, but like who he would be now in Kirkwall without Justice. But moving back to Kirkwall, getting our headspace there. 3 years later after the scene, we find ourselves in Act 3. And Knight Commander Meredith has destroyed the Mage Underground, and Anders is preparing for the Mage Templar tensions to reach its peak. His personal quest this time is apparently to have Hawk gather ingredients to craft a potion that will permanently separate Justice from Anders, without harming the tool. Of course, if you've romanced Anders, you want to help him in any way possible, so you gather all the ingredients. For whatever reason, this potion also requires you to distract Grand Tequila. This potion also requires you to distract the Grand Cleric, so Anders can get inside the Chantry without being seen. Even if you've romanced him, Anders will refuse to tell you what his plan is or what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. If you've played this game, you know where this is going. Anders lied. Even more insidious is that he will hang your relationship over your head and press him for information, saying you don't love him if you don't help him, no questions asked. And to that I say, fuck that. If you say you won't help him, he'll say, I've always been on my own. For a time, I just forgot. Talk about blatant manipulation. This is called conditional love, people, and it's not love. There was never a potion. The things he asked you to get were ingredients for a bomb, and he blows up the Chantry with everyone inside, including Grand Cleric Althena, the only person capable of potentially soothing relations between the mages and the Templars. The crazy thing about Dragon Age 2, there is a huge lack of player agency. No matter what you do, your sibling leaves in Act 1, the Qunari hold the city hostage in Act 2, and Anders blows up the Chantry in Act 3. You're left to pick up the pieces, which means you have to choose a side. This whole game you've been shown the worst of both mages and Templars, so this choice is not an easy one. Anders, for being so against Templars and the lack of agency over his own life, has certainly turned the tables on everyone else. The trope he has become is aptly named the Knight Templar, which is essentially a well-intentioned extremist, when the good get blinded by their ideals and get a bit too hardcore.
I told you I would break your heart. Just know it breaks mine to do it. I was hoping we'd find a better way, but justice and vengeance are too intertwined. I can't tell one from the other. You are the one shining light in my life. Never blame yourself for what will happen.
Yeah. Anders does make some decisions that I can't defend. And I don't know why, but I can't stop loving him, I guess. He's got some redeeming qualities to him, and out of all of them, I think that he's just my choice, you know? But Anders might die here. Or you might spare him, despite his desire to be punished for what he has done. Interestingly, if Anders is a rival, he will admit that justice took over, and he is extremely guilty over what he has done. He begs Hawke to kill him, afraid of losing control and admitting he has become everything the Templars would say he would be. The worst thing a mage could become, an abomination. If he is a friend, though, he will insist that the bomb was his choice, because Justice and Anders are one and the same now. He wanted to force Theodas to see the injustice of the Circle, although he is still willing to be executed for his actions. Friendship and rivalry work differently from simple good or bad, renegade or paragon. I think it was summarized very nicely by Jennifer Helper, one of the writers on Dragon Age 2. As a general rule, the way friendship and rivalry works is that friendship means agreeing with and supporting the follower in what they want to do, no matter how crazy, illogical, dangerous to oneself or to others. Rivalry means opposing their big cause, often for the right reasons. So it is very possible to be a better friend to someone by choosing the rivalry path, since you're trying to stop them from giving in to their own self-destructive whims. This is exactly... End of quote. This is exactly why a rivalmanced Anders, especially one forced to side with the Templars to try and atone for his actions, it offers him some much-needed introspection and accountability. A friend-manced Anders may not even really love Hawke. This is the Anders that we will not regret blowing up the Chantry, and use your love for him as a means to his end.
It's just crazy how different he reacts after the explosion, depending on if he's rivaled or friend, like a friend mance or rival mance. It's just, it definitely seems like a rivalry is the way to go for Anders. At this point, it's where you must choose to fight with the mages or the Templars. Anders is surprised if Hawke spares his life and allows him to fight alongside them against the Templars. While he enthusiastically kills Templars, he admits that this whole bomb thing is a lot worse than he thought it would be. He obviously would rather you side with the mages, though. His following romance dialogue is certainly dramatic and a perfect example of the all-or-nothing love Anders Mancers seem to swoon over.
Hey now.
Spare my life. If we live through this, you know I'll be hunted. No one in Kirkwall will offer me mercy. But if you would join me, I'd rather be on the run with you than safe with anyone else.
Then we will be fugitives together.
We will fight for a world where our children can be born mages and free. 10 years, 100 years from now, someone like me will love someone like you. And there will be no Templars to tear them apart. May the Maker bring us victory, or everything else is meaningless.
That's good soup right there.
Yeah. Everything else is meaningless. Knight Commander Meredith uses Anders' murder of the Grand Cleric and his bomb as an excuse to actually invoke the Rite of Annulment, where essentially the Templars deem an entire circle of mages too dangerous, so they kill every last one. She wants to do that to the Kirkwall Circle, even though they had nothing to do with the bomb. She feels she has no choice, just as Anders felt he had no choice, although she is not any saint. The central theme of Dragon Age has always been that the responsible use of magic. Who gets to decide that, and how much magic is safe? At the center of that is the bloody conflict between the Templars and the mages. Anders was a weapon unwittingly forged by every Templar that imprisoned him, and unfortunately, his actions affect the mages he was sworn to save. We know from our boy Garrus that the world is never black and white, but many shades of gray. Not all Templars are violent brutes who delight in assaulting and terrorizing their mage charges. Many are enslaved by the very system they are responsible for upholding, becoming addicted to the lyrium they must take to subdue errant mages. Not all mages are meek victims of Templar violence either. There are many mages that cause horror and violence themselves, Anders included.
Mm-hmm. It is extremely hard to pick a side, which is why I hated having to do so at the end of Dragon Age 2. Anders is an extremist. It's useless to try and determine which part of this horrible plan came from Justice or Anders. They're one and the same. I've already said I don't like Anders as a romance. I still don't. There are people who will compare Anders and Solas and call me a hypocrite for liking Solas but disliking Anders. And I'll admit, on the surface, they seem similar. Both are mages that started out trying to make the lives of their people better, working against their oppressors. Both have suffered incredible trauma and ostracization, even from their own group. Both have blown up a chantry. And both will warn you that loving them will only lead to a broken heart. There are people who say that intentions don't matter, only the hurt matters. That it doesn't matter how Solas or how Anders blew up the chantry, the resulting loss of life is the same. The impact on people around them may be similar. The intention and behavior of the two of them cannot be more opposite. Both Anders and Solas started out with hope and determination. That Anders hunched over a sick Ferelden refugee in his clinic in Darktown is unrecognizable from the Anders sitting lumpily on a wooden crate, waiting for death as the chantry turns to ash around him. Solas has only ever tried to set things right in his mind. Erecting the veil was a necessary step to protecting the people from the gods, but it was ultimately a mistake, and he's trying to rectify his mistake. The explosion that created the rift was a mistake, and while he never outright tells you, hey, I'm Fen'Harel, I made the rift, he does help you close it. He never sleeps with you or leads you on. He never holds the relationship hostage as a motivator to make you help him commit an act of terrorism. He knows he isn't being fully honest about who he is, so he ends the relationship before it can go any farther. There is a big difference between having secrets and intentionally lying to your partner. Solas's character arc is also not finished, so we can't say for certain that a romance Solas won't be able to be swayed from a path he clearly feels is the only way to set things right. Anders, unfortunately, on the other hand, hasn't been seen since the end of Dragon Age 2, so his character arc is complete as far as we know right now. It reminded me of the journey of Abby and Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2. Both were on journeys of revenge, but on different points in that path. They each went down a different fork on that path, though. Abby got her revenge and realized it didn't solve anything, and instead found new meaning for her life. Ellie grew increasingly obsessed and angry, never stopping when everything she cared for started disappearing from her life. Solas and Anders are similar in that they are both on the path of savior. However, Solas went down the fork of the godlike Messiah, and Anders went down the demonic pariah. He unfortunately becomes the most hated companion, even by Varric, which is saying something. And that is the bed he has made for himself. It's hard to see those he wants to save hate him and fear him. I have a great amount of empathy for Anders, but I do not see how he can be redeemed unless there is some way to remove justice. For me, he'll still always be the man who approved of giving Fenris back to Daenerys.
Yeah. I get it. I really, really do. In the comparison between Solas and Anders, I've made the joke, Anders breaks my heart, but Solas takes my arm. And there, I understand why Solus does what he does, and I understand why Anders does what he does. But I'd also like to point out that my Varric, still likes Blondie Vare. My Hawk, and I also went into like a big rabbit hole of why isn't your lover with you in Inquisition, and like the reasoning for them not being there. Meryl was still in the alienage trying to help the refugees of Kirkwall. And that Hawk wanted to protect her and said, "Stay home. I don't need you with me." Rude. If you love Meryl, why isn't she there? Izzy is off doing her own thing. We knew that that relationship was not going to be long term. Fenris, I don't know where he went. He's off into Vinter doing his own thing. Anders wanted to come with you. Anders said that he wants to be there, but Hawk made the decision that it's not safe for him to be around Corypheus again, and that the taint in him, it is not safe for him to be around. So he wanted to be there, but Hawk wouldn't let him. So, at least my Blondie Bear tried to be with me again.
I think what I meant when I said the Varric didn't like him is at the end in Act 3, it's kind of like Meryl 2. Like, Anders starts to isolate himself a lot and is just so genuinely mean to the other companions a lot of the time as time goes on that they just don't want to be around him either. So even Varric starts to be like, no, dude. Like, right before the bomb goes off, when he tries to hand off his embroidered pillow to Varric, he's like, why would you give that to me? I don't want that.
Oh.
Which, that was also sad, because it's kind of like, he's giving his possessions away because he thinks he's going to die.
Yeah. See, and I got a different version of that scene in my playthrough. The way that I got it was, Varric was like, I can't accept a gift like this. You're going to keep this because we're all going to make it out of here.
Yeah, see, it just really depends on how you're playing it, too.
Mm-hmm.
You get completely different things. I mean, and that's the thing that sucks about mages in Dragon Age, too, is like, mages especially are so hard to like. There's so much bad that goes on, and even if they're trying to do the right thing, they often just end up making everything worse. Solus, like, I know it's hypocritical. Like, I guess for me, I'm not even defending, like, Anders and Solus are pretty much just as bad in regards to what they want to do to the world. Solus definitely is more successful in his damage. But as far as, like, who they are as people, I definitely think Solus is more mature and considerate. And as a rival, Anders, I think, genuinely likes Hawk. But as a friend, I think Hawk is just a tool. Like, it's so creepy how different the conversations are. Yeah. And you're like, he's just pretending so that Hawk can do what he needs to do. Yeah. But either way, he still lies, and that's just not a good thing to do to your partner. And I think but it also, at the same time, I can see why he would do that, because once again, when he says, I've always been alone, if you say you're not going to help him, like, he's never had a reason to trust anybody. I just have a hard time, like, I don't want to justify his actions, because there are a lot of mages that grew up in the circle just like he did, and not all of them let spirits into their body. And I mean, a lot of people might argue semantics, but vengeance is a demon, and it's pretty amazing that Anders has not become an abomination at this point. Like, it's sheer will alone. That's a testament to Anders, honestly. But he still has a demon in him, and double whammy, he's also Grey Warden, and Corypheus is a thing, like, right. Not all mages do that.
Yeah.
A lot of mages go through the same shit he did. It's kind of like saying, oh, well, he committed this horrible act of violence because of mental health issues. That's not why. A lot of people have mental health issues and they're not violent at all.
Yeah. I think Well, Anders didn't let a demon in. He let a spirit in. And it's been established in canon that the spirits and the demons are very, very similar, but they are different. And that a spirit can choose to leave, while a demon is going to sink its claws in and isn't ever going to want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Do I...
But a spirit can become a demon.
Right.
That's so. He let a spirit of justice in, and Anders even says, "My anger changed him. He warped him. It warped him," which I think is code for he became a demon of vengeance. You know, like
Right.
it doesn't matter what the spirit was. It's not the same anymore now that it's in Anders.
Yeah.
They took the worst parts of each other and it exacerbated them. And now that's all that's left.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it would be... I think it will be very interesting if there's at least a little blurb or a something in, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in Dreadwolf.
They
I was
apparently
like,
were
not
going to
Absolution.
bring him back for Inquisition at some point, but they didn't. Part of my research, I found this unofficial concept art because it was scrapped. That's why they were able to release it, of Anders. And he was like not looking good. He was like coming out of a cave looking full hermit with a full beard, and he was missing his arm.
Aw.
And I'm like, what the hell has happened to Anders? Like, no, I mean, also another headcanon, I guess, is he could be into Tevinter Imperium. He kind of idolized that system a little bit because it must be nice to think of a place where mages are actually respected versus just feared. Even though we know Tevinter Imperium sucks also. Nobody's
Right.
got the right system down right now. So, I mean, I would hope that we can see him again. I would hope that we could remove Justice because the Anders in Awakening is definitely someone I would romance and befriend and all that jazz, but he did not come out of Dragon Age 2 good, you know? Everyone else improved and his character development just like went bad.
Yeah.
He went bad.
Yeah, that's my boy. I still like him a lot, though. I think we've said it. We do still have one more Dragon Age character to cover. I think that Sebastian will be a short little topic to talk about, because he is a DLC character and he is only romanceable by a female Hawk. It is a chaste romance, and I think even in the expanded super edition that I picked up of Dragon Age 2, I don't even have his DLC, so I can't play him. Either that or I can't find his trigger mission. So it should be interesting for sure to talk about Sebastian. Or very uninteresting, and we just won't release an episode. V and I will just
I never even had that DLC, so he's new to me.
Yeah.
One point in his favor is the Scottish accent.
You're right. And
But-
the minor research that I have done is that he used to be a major man whore, and now he took the life of the cloth and wants
You know,
to
born
wait
again
until marriage.
Christian,
Yeah.
essentially.
A born again Chantrian.
Yeah, born again Androstian.
Andrastian. Yes.
Okay, Sebastian.
Yeah.
We'll see you.
All right.
And one thing that's interesting is if you spare Anders and you have Sebastian, he will like leave your party and declare war. He's like, I'm gonna come back with an army from Starkhaven. You just wait. I don't think that ever comes to fruition because we never heard anything about that.
No, I think there's a war table thingy, but no, not like an actual army. Yeah. I have been doing outside research. I've been doing my job. But he's just kind of boring. DLC romances are always weird. Yeah. All right. Do we have any more thoughts on Anders?
I just want to make it clear that I just don't like his romance. It's not like I hate Anders. I don't hate Anders. I feel really bad for him. Like, every possible thing that could go wrong has gone wrong for him.
Yeah. All right. I have said this in private chats and in DMs, and my only defense of Anders, like, honestly, in 100% truthfulness, if I take away all of the bullshit with the Chantry and all of that, Anders is my ideal person. If you were to craft and put together all the little things, openly flirtatious, bisexual, open to non-monogamy, because he talks about the threesome with Isabella, has a switch that can flip to go from Mr. Nice Guy to shut the fuck up and listen to me right now and do what I say. Anders is my dream man. If only he didn't blow up the Chantry or have some really racist views on some things. I can't put it out there beyond that.
Fair.
Give me a
You're allowed to
bisexual
like
switchy
Anders.
boy, and I am all here for it. I think Vengeance
Yeah.
would make an amazing Dom. Straight? I mean, that's what I got.
I like Anders because he's hot and would make an amazing dog. Jen, 2022.
Oh, yep. And I think that is where we will wrap up the show for tonight. So if you like what you're hearing, please be sure to leave us a review on iTunes or give us a rating on Spotify and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find me in the Cyberpunk Lorecast channel with my co-host Toasty, and of course in our Two Girls One Ship channel on the Robots Radio Discord. Come give us a follow on all the social medias. Maybe not all of them now. We need to discuss if we're going to keep our Twitter and which other socials we will start creating. But as for right now, we're still up on Twitter and Instagram and patreon.com/twogirlsoneship. Links to those are in the description.
I'm on the Robots Radio Discord as well, and on our own Two Girls One Ship Discord server where we nerd out on our favorite CGI significant others. Be sure to check out our live streams on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, or watch the YouTube video a few days after the stream. Our podcast episodes release on Mondays because you need at least one good thing on a Monday.
So, thanks for listening, and remember,
Beauty is in the eye of the controller.
certainly was this week. Good night.
Yeah, truth. I know, I think
And
I've
stop.
caused a rift with me and Yuri Cat's friendship with tonight.
Oh no, we're fine. Like, I'm pretty sure that you and Yuri are fine. Oh, what night.
I know, that's the thing, is like I can't even, like, Yuri Cat brought up a really good point when, let's see, I'm scrolling back up to it. Solus is willing to destroy the entire world and get rid of every other race for his to reign over the world again. That totally doesn't have Hitler vibes at all. I'm like, you know what? I know. That's the thing, though, is like, if you romance him, he genuinely starts to see, like, that that's not the case. And I can understand, like, that's the thing, is like, I understand Anders' viewpoint and why he did what he did doesn't justify it. I understand Stelis' viewpoint too. Like, the time he came from, completely different from the time he woke up in.
Mm-hmm.
So those views are outdated the same way, like, your great aunt Jemima's views are bad on Thanksgiving table or whatever, you know?
Well,
Not justified, but I can see why they think that. You're like, oh, hey, time to learn. And that's the hope that I have for Solus, is that when you romance him, he seems open-minded enough, like he starts to change his mind. not enough at this point to actually sway him from his path. Which, honestly, kind of like with Anders, it seems like he's like, I'm in too deep. I can't tap out, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's a bummer. Why can't we just have simple loves like Alistair, who, like, there was no drawback to his character.
He's
Nothing bad about
19.
his romance. It was
He's
just simple
9.
sweetness.
No, 19. There's his drawback.
I know.
He is baby.
I was 17 when I played that game, so
And I
we
was
were perfect for each other.
35. I was 35 when I first played the game.
That is understandable why it was different for you. But when I was 17 and I saw Alistair, it was like googly anime eyes.
Yeah.
And then I grew up and I married a ginger man, so the apple doesn't fall far from the Red Cliff Castle.
My husband is blonde. Maybe that's why I like Anders.
Maybe. Bioware predicted our husbands.
And let's see. The raw recording is only an hour 15, so I think we actually did pretty good for episode timing.
Oh, good. Let me, stop my recording.
Oh, yeah, because I'm definitely going to need it tonight.
Oh, you want mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll combine off our files.
Okay. Let me just, I'll do the thing for you. The compressing thing.
Don't worry. I have to do
Yeah, I'm
it all.
excited. I'm excited, guys. 1 week until Dragon Age Absolution. Next year, we're going to get another Dragon Age game because I refuse to believe that it's not going to come out any later than that. Like, it's going to be next year or I might die.
Yeah. No, I'm
So,
pretty sure that.
good things in store for us. And then the following year is the Mass Effect game. I just feel it in my bones. So, it's going to be a good time to be alive.
And then, were we going to put the show on hiatus? Or should we start, like, pre-recording episodes now? So
For when the game comes out.
Yeah. So when the game comes out, then we can just, like, fucking focus on gameplay and then just put out pre-recorded episodes.
Yeah, I like that idea. When Dragon Age Inquisition came out in 20, I took 1 week of leave from the Navy and spent it playing that game straight. So I want to hopefully do something like that this time. I didn't have a kid back then, so we'll see.
Yuri, Caden and your husband have the same hair color. It counts. But no, he does not look like Caden at all. I have romance Tally.
That's funny. You can see her face. That's hilarious. I mean, I also romanced Garrus, and my husband is not a bird raptor thing.
Is he a samurai space chicken? Is
No.
your husband... I was about to say something really, really horrible. Holy crap. I was about to say, is your husband ingestible?
Not allergic. If that's what you're asking. Side note, apologies for missing the patron chat last week, everybody. I was hospitalized. I'm feeling much better. I still need to have a surgery, but a procedure, I'm not really sure how serious it'll be. So we'll see. I also want to tell you now, I guess. I think I don't know. We're gonna have to ask our patrons. Do you think we could move the patron chat for December up 1 week and have the interview come out the following week? Because I'm going to be in my husband's hometown on the night the patron chat's supposed to be on, and they don't have anywhere good I could record, and it's also rural, so the internet is spotty. Unfortunately, I wish I wasn't going.
Okay. Yeah.
Luckily, it's only a day. But I thought if we did that, if we switched it, I could be there for the patron chat, and then the next week we'll just have an episode, the interview episode that's supposed to come out.
Yeah, or so we had to do this with Cyberpunk because Tosi was on vacation. We recorded the Patreon. We pre-recorded an episode, then we recorded our Patreon chat, and then we still released them in the order that it normally would have came out. So the Patreon chat still came out at the week that it would have.
It just wasn't live.
No, it was still live.
Oh, okay. Okay. Whatever works. There's no the 30th, I think, is the date it's supposed to be, and I won't be in my home, unfortunately.
It's also New Year's Eve and doing things.
That's true. Almost done. My computer has 10% battery because of how long we've had to be out here.
Oh. Why don't you have your charger with you? Like, I don't see how you do that.
Because my Rabbit, I charge my laptop. This is my work computer's here and all set up, and so that outlets are taken up by this work computer. And I have an outlet I could plug it in, but like if I'm not paying attention, my Rabbit might come by and just chew the cord. So I just charge it out in the living room, bring it in full battery for every stream, and it's enough normally, but we've been going almost 2 hours, and it's like the Discord takes a lot of battery when you're video chatting. So
oh, holy shit! Yeah, it has been 2 hours.
It's like if we weren't video chatting, my laptop would be fine for a while still, but video chatting takes a lot of battery.
Yeah. All right. Well, then let's wrap it up. Put a little Anders bow on it and send me your file, and I will edit the shit out of it tomorrow.
Thanks for waiting so patiently, everybody who's still here. I appreciate it.
I'm also
so glad we finally figured it out.
I don't know what... it was the exact same thing that I had been doing over and over and over again.
Because then it means it could just happen randomly again. I don't like that.
We love you too, Yuri. Major love.
Yes, me too. Major love. Honestly, Anders is definitely one of the best written characters, I think, because of how split we all are on him. We all have very good supporting arguments for both sides. Same with Solus, you know? That's the most provocative characters for so many reasons.
You know what fanfic I'm absolutely love reading right now?
Ooh.
Anders and Fenris.
Anders and Fenris, wow, talk about hate screwing.
But also like we need to learn from each other and try and figure this shit out and work through our traumas together.
So enemies to lovers.
Oh,
wow.
Fuck off, Yuri. I can read my Anders X Fenris all that I want. Also, I watched somebody streaming Doki Doki Literature Club, and one of the main characters on there is named Yuri, and so every time that they said the name Yuri, I was like, Yuri's not here. She's not watching this stream.
That's funny.
Not a Fenris fan. It's fine.
Who's not a Fenris fan?
Yuri.
Oh, Yuri, did you listen to our Fenris episode? I feel like it's kind of divided. Like, if you like Anders, you can't like Fenris, and vice versa. Because I do like Fenris. I definitely like Fenris more than Anders. I feel like I've made my point on that tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. My battery is 8% now.
Okay. All right, guys.
I gotta go.
Stopping stream. Love you all.